Hey there, Skullheads. I'm Snags.
And I'm old Silky.
And I'm Alan.
Beatle Bailey back in the house for a W.C. Fields episode.
Yes.
The mighty W.C. Fields.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the man, the myth, the legend.
Hmm.
At some point in the episode, when the time is right for Loudmouth Lounge, I will be reciting the top 10, my top five W.C. Fields quotes as
Nice.
Awesome.
W.C. Fields. So,
Nice.
I
Yeah.
uh I don't drink water. Fish swim in it.
well, I got
Yes,
I,
exactly.
I got the better version of that. That'll
Okay.
that'll be mine. What's
It's
up? We got a El
Hey.
Condor in the house right off the bat. Pimp the
run it.
website, son.
Go to snagsandsilky.com. We got mugs, t-shirts, cups,
Stickers. Stickers.
podcast themed medicine, stickers, uh, sleep masks.
Okay. It's fantastic. Everything must go.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
looking at random stuff in the room and
yeah.
saying we got on the website, which we totally do.
We're having a St. Patrick's Day
There you go.
sale.
Yeah.
Everything must go.
All right. Thank
Yeah,
you, sir.
yeah.
Father,
Always.
I shall go back into the
Hey,
basement.
spit that gum. Hey. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Goddamn kids.
Get away from me. You bother me.
Yeah. So Alan, you were telling us you had was it an uncle
Oh,
who
yeah.
who idolized W.C. Fields as much as
Yeah.
we idolize Lemmy?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that picture, he looks like a somebody that would have been on uh, that British sitcom. I just forgot his name. It's no good now. I lost
Yeah,
Benny
fucking
Hill.
Benny Hill.
there you go.
Yeah, he totally looks like a Benny Hill.
Oh, he was a character now, and really, this is the biggest chunk of my contribution to this episode. If you want me to get right into it,
Let's do it. Let's start
yeah.
it off with the
So
story.
yeah, my late Uncle George, all of my my parents and all their siblings are all gone. He was the last of them all, and he was the least healthy of them all. And
Oh,
he
hilarious.
oh yeah, yeah, it's completely ironic. Um, really, yeah, my healthiest, my favorite uncle was the healthiest. He died at 54.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. So,
So Brett
so
and I had this friend. He was kind of a friend of my mom's, but his age was in between us and her. And total health nut. Just ate always. He always had the latest spirulina or whatever. Man, you gotta check out this kombucha I have. It's got all these enzymes. It's died at like 40. Died of throat cancer at like 43.
oh,
You
oh
know, it's
God.
crazy.
43?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
you know who I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah, I know
Yeah,
exactly what you're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Shit.
Uh,
Anyway, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, so he was my mother's brother, and he served in the Korean War actually, and he was in battle. He was in a battle named it was Pork Chop Hill, and apparently it was
Oh
a big battle of the Korean.
yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, and there's a movie about it actually. So that screwed him up enough, when he
Mhm.
came back. Um, but he was the most colorful of all my, uncles and aunts and all those, older relatives.
Mhm.
Um, when I was growing up, he owned a strip club.
Oh, that's
He,
so awesome.
here we go.
That's
So,
that now that's my favorite uncle too.
see, well, no, he
Yeah.
wasn't.
I
Believe it or
never
not, he wasn't my favorite
I
uncle.
never I never met
But
him.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man.
So that kind of made me a semi-legend
I wish I had an uncle that
Sure.
owned a
among
strip
among my
club.
friends. So but it was funny. The original name of the bar was called the Back Door, and
Hi-oh.
It was
What
because
kind of wait a minute. What kind of strip club was this?
it was the kind where you had to go in through the back door. So yeah, that was the
So
name of
tight
that.
squeeze.
So yeah, so then in 1980, the movie Urban Cowboy came out, right?
Right.
And every bar across the country bought a mechanical bull
Of course.
and went
Oh
country
yeah.
western, and so did he.
Yeah.
And that lasted no more than a year.
Right.
He went right back to strip club.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Now, if you know anything about strip clubs, I don't know, is there anything called the mafia?
No,
Yeah,
that
probably not.
technically does not exist according to when
Yeah,
they were making The Godfather, they said we'll let you make this movie, but you can never use the word mafia. And if
yeah,
you notice, they never use the word
no, no,
mafia.
right,
It's the
no.
family.
The families, yeah, it's all family.
Wow.
So anyway, I'm sure he was, reporting to some family, right?
Right.
Right.
And when I was about 13 or 14, he must have not paid somebody or said the wrong thing,
Oh shit.
and his apartment got bombed, and he wasn't
Oh,
there. He
shit.
yeah, right,
Dag, yo.
yeah. So that sets the scene. Like this is the kind of guy we're talking
Wow.
about, all right?
Right.
But anyway, no, the reason we're talking about him is that, yeah, if you walked into his house, it was a W.C. Fields museum.
Oh.
Statues, statuettes, whatever, neons, posters, like the black velvet kind of the
Yeah,
velvet
sure.
Elvis stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Decanters,
Wow.
everything was W.C. Fields.
Wow.
That's the only reason I think, that I even really know him,
Uh-huh.
or appreciate. Well, what really sent me over that, I mean, I knew he loved him,
Yeah.
and that's how I, was educated about W.C. Fields. But what really put me over the top, I don't know if you guys remember this, but in HBO back in the day, every Christmas used to put on Rich Little's Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
And Rich Little played all the characters, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that.
But W.C. Fields was Scrooge.
Yeah.
So, and he just knocks it out of the park. It's
Oh
so
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
And then I just loved it. That really, now I'm watching W.C. Fields movies,
Mm-hmm.
and asking my uncle about this and that and the other thing. So
That's
that
pretty cool.
that's the story of Uncle George.
My favorite W.C. Fields, well, one of them is it might be in the bank dick, but he goes into a bar and sits down and orders a shot, but then he also orders a little shot of water, and he'll drink the liquor and then soak his fingers in the water. Um,
Right.
and
Yeah.
there's like no reason to do it, but it's just, to me it's such a classy moment,
Oh, yeah.
but
What's the one where he's trying to sleep on the porch and
the
some
kids
malt.
dropping screwdrivers down
Yeah,
on him.
yeah. What is that
Oh my
one?
god. That might be the bank dick as well,
Yeah,
Mm.
but that
that's
scene is I remember crying
that scene
watching that.
is what inspired me to start writing Crash Course in Brain Sodomy, which was our second movie.
Yeah.
Folks,
Wow.
we did movies back in the day. We were a comedy
Yeah.
team called Chico and Vibes.
And
And
that movie was really an homage to all those Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy.
yeah, yeah. And
Oh,
and
All of
nice.
that.
and
Yeah.
uh and the soundtrack was packed with copyrighted music, so we could never submit it to any film festival. It was like
Yeah.
a 45-minute thing shot on VHS, but it was about
Super 8, I think.
no, it was VHS. It
Oh.
was about these two roommates who were just insane, always blasting Metallica and stuff like that. And there's this neurotic nerd who lives in the apartment below them, and they're just oblivious that he even lives there, and he's totally drives them crazy. And he's the whole time he's struggling against them, and they don't even know he even exists. And that was
Right.
inspired by W.C. Fields trying to
Yes.
sleep on that porch, and the kid on the
Okay.
Yeah.
next level up dropping screwdrivers on him and shit.
And that script is actually would do well, where just like you said, the brilliance of somebody convinced that the people upstairs are purposely doing all this and they're just oblivious,
Yeah,
which makes for a good comedy,
Right. Oh yeah. That's the best comedy. Right.
where they just
Yep.
don't even know. They're like, "What's
Yeah.
his problem?" And
Yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
uh, but yeah, and the other thing with W.C. Fields is, he was always pitted against like an evil mother-in-law, which I just think anyone can relate to
yeah,
that.
Oh my God.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Silky and
you
I
know,
both have
Right.
stories.
now more so with my first marriage, I get along pretty well with my
Oh, okay.
mother-in-law
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. No, no, he's never said anything bad about his
No,
grandma. Never. Yeah,
but the first one is
never.
that's a whole other thing. So
Anyways, so yeah, so I you and I back in high school, we would watch all these old movies,
Yeah.
and we were watching Chaplin and Buster Keaton and all that stuff, and I
yeah,
think
yeah,
somewhere along the way started watching W.C. Fields, but about uh probably 12 years ago, I'm working at this uh place out in Conyers, Georgia, and I discover there's a library about 15 minutes away. And I also discovered that the library out there would let me get a library card even though I didn't live anywhere near there. So
mhm,
I would actually go to the library sometimes on my lunch breaks. They had a great graphic novel collection. Check out Ben Snake Pit comics and all that stuff.
mhm.
And that I found this big ass 700 page W.C. Fields biography,
Wow.
and I read the whole thing, and then I bought which is right about 10 feet away from me right now, a box set. It's all of his feature films.
Oh yeah, I have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
marathon through that, and yeah, the guy was just a genius. He's, and his point of view really lines up, I think, with mine and with Silky's and with old Beetle Bailey here. It's this kind of cynical, humorous way of looking at the world, you know?
yeah.
Oh
Just
yeah.
I like that he like his shorts are just hysterical, where he's a dentist and
Yes, of course.
it's over the top. I remember
Right.
like
Yeah.
literally like standing up off my couch, like no way, this
Yeah.
is you know.
the scene where for those of you who haven't seen it, and this was a stage
Hmm.
routine he did with Ziegfeld Follies on Broadway before he
Mm,
started making movies,
I
but
know.
and he got in trouble. Like Ziegfeld, the guy that ran Ziegfeld Follies, was really upset at how racy it was. But in the actual film version, um, the female patient's laying back in the dentist chair, and instead of standing beside her to work on her mouth, he's standing between her legs and leaning down, and her legs go up in the air, and she's struggling because the her tooth hurts, and so he's just rolling all over her, and they actually that's one scene in a larger film, and for a long time, this was shot before the Hayes Commission,
yeah.
pre-code, and when the Hayes Commission kicked in, they actually edited that part out for years. And you would anytime you saw a version of that scene wasn't in it, and it didn't come back until like the 60s,
Yeah.
the
He was
full
he
version.
was he was cutting edge. He, figured out a way to
Yeah.
get it on screen that he was you know,
railing this chick.
railing,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know,
it's just great. Because I think he starts on the side, but she keeps moving, and he's trying to get this tooth.
yeah.
No,
He
he
just
ends
works
up
and
right between her legs, just
yeah,
like dry humping her while her legs
Off,
are
the, yeah,
spread out and up in the
off the
air.
chair. No, it's off. He gets her off the chair.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. The old
Puts her
point.
feet. She
The
puts
yeah.
old
her feet in his pockets of his robe, and is
yeah.
like,
The old porn
Yeah.
move where he picks her up and she's her legs are wrapped around them. Yeah.
yeah, it's hysterical, and he's just working the tooth, and
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Jesus, man.
Yeah.
Um, there's
Yeah.
another one where he's playing pool with a horrifically warped pool cue,
Oh yeah,
and
that's funny. Yeah.
that's just brilliant too.
Yeah. Well,
It's just epic.
let's delve into his biography a little bit.
Yeah, you
Yes.
tell us all about it.
Born William Claude Dukenfield on January 29th, 1880, in a modest wooden house in Philadelphia. He was one of five children. Um, Family was working class, financially strained. A lot of these people that we profile grew up struggling and ended up getting rich and successful. Kind of like me and Silky, who grew up struggling and never got rich and successful.
No,
But we have the first part in common.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, Poor student at school, obviously. Runs away from home multiple times. Discovers juggling. He sees a vaudeville performer when he's 9 or 10 and he just obsessively starts practicing juggling. And by his early teens, he's got a juggling act going. Um, he was he called himself the Tramp Juggler. Tramp was very trendy back then because Chaplin
yeah.
um, actually started supporting his family. He's earning money as a juggler. Became one of the highest paid jugglers in vaudeville. Tours extensively across Europe, including and I'm sure this is as part of a variety show, but a command performance for King and Queen of England in 1903. Then he goes to Australia, South Africa, also called the eccentric juggler, the world's greatest juggler. And he juggles some in his films. They're primarily comedy at that point, but the dude could juggle. He was the damn Steve Vai of juggling.
I
That's
can
great.
juggle. I can juggle.
Well,
Can
oh,
you?
really? Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
have? Can you juggle on the show tonight?
I can
Yeah.
juggle right.
Yeah, juggle even though nobody's going to see it.
See, I've even got these
Oh my
three.
God, he's juggling everybody.
I got these three juggling cats here.
Oh,
Okay.
he's got little bean bags.
I don't know if you guys can see. I'm doing it sitting down
Yeah,
here.
the audience won't be able to see it. Amazing. He's juggling and he dropped it immediately. So you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the world's greatest juggler.
Well, no, it's probably been 10 years since I can try it. Here we go.
Yeah,
There we go.
There you go.
Nice.
All right.
There
So
we
he stars in every edition of the Ziegfeld Follies from 1915 to 1921. And it's during Ziegfeld Follies he develops the pool sketch. He develops the dentist sketch and a lot of shit he used in the films.
Mhm.
Famous people like Eddie Cantor were in those
Oh yeah.
those things. He did do some shows that Chaplin was in as part of a variety ensemble kind of thing.
Right.
Not with him on the stage at the same time. And apparently he was always jealous when Chaplin's career took off. Like he was always jealous of him.
Mm.
Even when they were both successful, Chaplin was always number one.
Well, Chaplin was the highest paid actor in Hollywood. I mean, he was ridiculously
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah.
that era. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he stars in a Broadway hit called Poppy as Professor Eustace McGargle, the lovable con man and medicine show huckster.
Uh-huh.
And this kind of crystallized his on-screen persona in a lot of ways. This cynical slightly dishonest, verbose,
Yeah, yeah,
cranky motherfucker. Um,
yeah.
Poppy gets when he starts making films. He starts in New York. They're still making films in New York. And I think it was mostly out on Long Island. And he's doing these two real shorts. They do a silent film version of Poppy called Sally of the Sawdust. Um, Eventually, he talkies come along, and talkies wipe out a lot of
Oh
these
yeah,
silent film stars.
revolutionized the whole thing.
Yeah, and a lot of them just their careers went to shit, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
including and it did Chaplin. He made a couple talkies that were successful, but he did not. He wasn't as what's the word, productive with talkies as he was with silent
yeah,
films, and
yeah.
I don't think Chaplin adapted as well as W.C. Fields to talkies at all. W.C.
No.
Fields he had this voice that was really interesting.
Hmm.
People like to listen to it.
The funny thing too is some of your top box office stars had kind of wispy voices, and they just did not translate to talkies,
Mm-mm.
and people's careers were over because they didn't sound manly enough, or which is a shame because they still had it was still that person.
Yeah, or
Uh,
it was like her a female whose persona was like this European vamp, but when she talked, she had some New York Brooklyn accent,
yeah,
and it
oh,
just what I mean?
yeah, and
Yeah,
yeah, and that's the thing is people's image, preconceived image of them was shattered. So
yeah.
Wow.
So his first talkie is a short called The Golf Specialist, where he's supposedly giving golf lessons. He's trying to take the first.
oh God, yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to, and that was one of his stage routines as well. He's trying to take a first whack at the ball and never gets around to it because stuff keeps getting stuck on his shoe, and
Yeah,
Gloves.
it's
Yep.
that's a great one.
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's
Classic.
that's hilarious. And then he was a screenwriter, so he had been writing these routines for vaudeville, and he just started writing scripts. He didn't write everything he was in, but when he did write, he would use a pseudonym like Charles Bogle or Otis Cribble Cobbless. He'd just make up these whack
Yeah.
job names, and I don't know why he didn't want to take credit for the screenwriting, but he would come up with some pseudonym for the
Can
screen.
I go back to
Oh
the
yeah,
golfing thing? I don't know if it's the same clip, but it's the he winds up throwing his golf club into a lake, right, into a pond or whatever.
Right.
And the caddy or somebody says, "You can't do that."
and he throws a caddy in the pond.
Oh, well, then he throws his whole bag in the pond.
Yeah,
Then he throws the caddy in the pond.
yeah, yeah,
And then I'm thinking, what that to me looked like maybe an inspiration for Ted Knight, on
Oh yeah,
Caddyshack,
100%.
yeah, yeah.
right?
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah.
He sliced, I'll bet you $1,000 you slice, and he sliced,
Yeah.
and
Slings the club.
right, and he hits somebody, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. She's laid out. The table's overturned. You're just like, oh my God.
Mm.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Anyway,
So he starts appearing in these feature films. The first one was this ensemble piece called International House. Um, and he is Professor Quayle in that. Then It's a Gift, which is the probably the first feature that he wrote and starred in as Harold Bissonette. It's a Gift is the one with the porch scene.
Okay.
Yeah, that's widely regarded as one of the greatest comedy sequences in film history, actually. No wonder it inspired the great Chico and Vibes,
So
aka
fucking funny. Just
Mars and
him
Silky.
chilling out and these fucking tools keep dropping down. It's
And it's just little kid,
it's
of course,
hysterical.
little bastard.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
the old-fashioned way as the Great McGonagall again, including a recreation of his juggling act. You're Telling Me, which is funny. David Copperfield, Dickens, based on the Dickens novel, is a
yeah, that's a big one for
yeah.
him.
He's Wilkins Macabre in that one. Man on the Flying Trapeze, and then Poppy, which is the second adaptation of the stage show that he starred in. This version is the sound version, and they use the original title, Poppy. Um, and this is where he just develops that persona, muttering asides, the euphemistic curses, Godfrey Daniel, mother of pearl. And he's the hard drinking, kid hating con man. Yeah,
Yeah.
who could not like that? I mean,
No, exactly. And
Yeah.
just the back and forth with the bitter mother-in-law, and he's at the table,
and the nagging wife, and
yeah, oh my
yeah,
God, it's just so good.
yeah. And this was the Paramount Pictures era. He signed to Paramount Pictures, becomes a big star, but the downside is his drinking. He's just he would leave the house with a thermos full of gin and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
be drinking throughout the day while he's making these films, and it just
And I
got
think everyone was drinking too. It was like the thing to do, and they just got uh, addicted to alcohol.
I wouldn't say all of them. I'd say he was in the top 5%
Yeah,
probably.
but I
Yeah.
mean, it was a social thing. It was everything,
Yeah,
You had to have a drink,
yeah.
Right.
But unlike the other 95% of people that he worked with, he had to have a drink all day in a thermos while he was working. And it just became an issue with the top brass at Paramount. He eventually, that relationship deteriorated. He started doing radio for a couple of years. He was a regular guest and then star on the Chase and Sanborn Hour, later the Charlie McCarthy Show. So
Huh.
Edgar Bergen and his dummy Charlie McCarthy had a
Yeah.
radio
Yeah,
show.
I
yeah.
know. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Bring that up, please. A ventriloquist act on the radio.
I was just
Yeah, that's
about to
great.
say,
I
how
mean,
odd is that?
that,
That's like juggling
that,
on an audio only podcast.
that's got to be a good fucking show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
got to be.
How he does the dummy and him at the same time
yeah.
uh, on a radio show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways,
It's like I was juggling, right? I was juggling on the
yeah.
radio.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
So anyways, he would get in these arguments with the dummy, and it became that kind of became this electric thing. They're bring W.C. Fields back in when he argues with the dummy. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So that actually, the Paramount people are done with him. He goes on the radio and stays a big star because everybody wants to hear him argue with the dummy.
Right.
And so through that, he gets another motion picture contract with Universal. And he tried to temper his drinking. He was working on that. Drops another batch of classic films that he wrote and starred in. You Can't Cheat an Honest Man as Larson E. Whipsnade. And Bergen and McCarthy are in that one, so you can see the dummy.
Yeah.
My Little Chickadee, co-starring Mae West.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just
Mae
watched
West.
that. We
Yeah.
we just watched that over the weekend. Yeah.
Mae West is filthy hot.
Oh, forget about it.
Yeah.
I got this at the library. It's
Nice.
the whole Mae West collection that had.
Oh, nice.
They don't have My Little Chickadee by itself or in a W.C. Fields collection.
Right.
Only in a Mae West collection. So
I've got it in my W.C. Fields collection has it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got the red one. The red one with
yeah, I've got the red one and the blue one. It's a double
yeah.
box set.
My library does not. So
Yeah. But
Now I tell you, if I went back in time, I would give Mae West a good long weekend.
she could suck the chrome off a tailpipe in five
Yeah,
seconds. Yeah.
she could suck a golf ball through a garden hose full of peanut butter.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
God bless her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So and
she had a head for detail.
there you go. So apparently on that one, Fields writes his own scenes. Mae West is writing her own scenes. They're struggling for control of the picture, and if you
Sure.
watch the movie, they're rarely in the same scene together,
Yeah, yeah,
even though they co-star in it. But it
Yeah.
was a
yeah,
big hit. And then The Bank Dick, which I think is probably his best film.
yeah, yeah.
He's Egbert Sousay, this guy who stumbles into getting a job as a bank detective. Fucking hilarious.
Great movie.
Yeah. And then Never Give a Sucker an Even Break, which is a wild kind of surreal film. And he was at this point he's fighting with Universal, and it's kind of there's a lot of satire of authority figures and the film honcho types in there, and it's also just very surreal. Um, and then he does some cameos in some films. He's his alcoholism kicking in hard, and he's he so let's go. Want to talk about his personal? I think we could talk about his personal life a little bit. Oh, well, let's do this. Let's pause for Loudmouth Lounge, where
Yes.
I will recite my favorite top five W.C. Fields quotes,
Top
including the
five or top 10?
top five,
Okay.
including the correct version of the one that Silky attempted at the beginning of the
Uh-huh.
podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone who hates children and animals can't be all bad. I'd
That's
rather
great.
have I'd rather have two girls at 21 each than one girl at 42.
There you go.
I'm free of all prejudices. I hate everyone equally.
Bingo. There you go.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
that's the one.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that one 100%. A woman drove me to drink, and I didn't even have the decency to thank her.
Yes.
And then the top one, in my opinion, water. Never touch the stuff. Very unhealthy. Fish fucking it.
Oh, fish fuck in it.
He literally he said
Yeah,
that.
but there's a line. Is a line where he says, "I never drink water. Fish swim in it."
Yeah, well that was a watered down
That's probably
version.
for a movie. Yeah.
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 Oh man.
I say that one
I,
all the time. Like my wife will offer me a glass of water. Oh, never touch the stuff. Fish fucking it.
I
Yeah.
I got one more.
All right. Yeah,
So
drop it. Drop any
I
quotes you guys
I
got.
don't drink all the time. I have to sleep, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
So his personality, I always go to this story that uh Winston Churchill is at some uh stuffed shirt party type thing, and this woman hears him just expounding. He's telling some story, and she tells him that he's drunk, and he says, "Yeah, well, tomorrow I'll be hungover, and you'll still be ugly." And I just that's so W.C. Fields to me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of an OG Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh yeah, 100.
But
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
but with respect. Right.
right. Yeah, yeah. Basically, that's good.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so on the personal side, um, let's see here. So there's this he met a Ziegfeld girl who was like 30 years younger. First he's, just playing the field, gets married once, and then they get divorced. Um, and they had a son, Claude William Fields Jr. Um, and he supported them for the rest of his life. And then he kind of played the field for a while, and then he marries a Ziegfeld girl who's 30 years younger than him. And basically, I think the Carlotta Monte was her name, and she stayed with him for the rest of his life. It was a stormy relationship. Um, she actually wrote a book called W.C. Fields and Me. They made a movie out of it, which I watched last night, and I'll link it in the click put. It's worth watching. It's a basically a W.C. Fields biography with Rod Steiger as W.C. Fields.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
He
I
had
remember,
a
yeah, I remember seeing the trailer or seeing highlights from it on that doc you sent us.
yeah, yeah,
Steiger is just a fantastic
Yeah.
actor.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
absolutely right. Can't be that bad.
It's
Every
a compressed, fictionalized version of his life. Like there's just one movie studio that he works for, and some other stuff is kind of they compressed together, made in the 70s, but it's a good flick. He also had an illegitimate son, William Rexford Fields Morris, with a chorus girl named Bessie Poole. He had a fun life. Um, Very generous with his money, kind of like Elvis in a way. Like Silky and I were both reading Elvis biographies recently. We were like halfway through those when we did our Elvis episode, but Elvis was always giving away money. And there's this sense of like, in a way, trying to buy friendship. And I think
Yeah,
WC,
it's an insecurity, and
yeah,
Yeah,
you want to please everybody.
I
yeah.
think W.C. Fields had the same complex. He was known for extreme generosity to friends and former colleagues. He'd pay off people's mortgages, pay their medical bills. He was supporting some people. And hey, if I was rich, I'd help out friends who are struggling too, but there's a limit where you can't bankrupt yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um
yeah, for sure.
he did there was an incident where he's drunk on set, and I think it was when uh he was shooting, and one of the characters was a baby, and he was annoyed at the baby actor. Kid's like 3 or 4, and nobody's looking. He gives the kid some booze, gets him drunk. He
That's
got
great.
he got in a lot of trouble for that.
Oh my God.
But yeah, he was
See.
on intoxicated on set on a regular basis. Avid reader, loved to read Dickens and Shakespeare and Mark Twain and all those cats. Terrified of poverty, so he had bank accounts all over the country.
Yeah, under different names, and
Yeah.
that was going to get to that. Is when he passed away, this money's just accruing all across the country, and nobody knows who this money is just in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I told this story on some other episode, but there's a Groucho Marx. I think there's a Groucho Marx live album from like the very early 70s, the end of Groucho Marx's life, where he's playing Radio City Music Hall. And I used to have that on cassette. And I think this is where I heard that story where Groucho Marx is saying he's at W.C. Fields' house. It's right after Prohibition is over. It's like the you know early 40s maybe.
Right?
And they're drinking some whiskey, and they run out. They finish the bottle, and W.C. Fields, come up in the attic with me, and let's grab another bottle. And they go up there, and he opens the attic door, and it's wall to wall with crates of whiskey.
Hilarious.
And there's a pause, and Groucho goes, Prohibition is over, right? And he goes, it might come back.
That's great.
Fucking hilarious.
Welcome back. I remember a skit he did. It was a radio bit, and I think the title was "The Glass of Water." Um, and he's going through some Western town, and he goes into a saloon, and I don't remember the dialogue, but it's all between him and the bartender.
Is that the fatal glass of beer?
No, no. All I remember was that the bartender basically tells him he doesn't have any alcohol. And WC Fields is like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, the people took a vote and decided against it. And he's like, that's taking democracy too far.
Yeah, right. I would agree. It definitely is.
Just
There's
his lazy way of talking.
I know, right?
Just love it.
Zingers, yeah.
He's a king. He's the king of the one-liners. He was.
Yeah.
He was right up there with Rodney Dangerfield.
Right.
Yeah. So mid-30s, his health starts cranking down. Pneumonia, back pain, gastric issues, all kinds of complications from the alcoholism, kidney, liver. Ends up in the mid-40s. He ends up in Los Encinas Sanitarium in Pasadena. Died on Christmas Day, which was his least favorite day. He hated Christmas. Uh, December 25th, 1946, from a gastric hemorrhage.
Oh,
Um,
that
and
sounds great. Yeah.
apparently somebody, I forget who it was, one of his celebrity friends was visiting him in the sanitarium, and they walk in and he's reading a Bible, which was odd because he was notorious for hating religion. Like one of his quotes when I was researching quotes was something along the lines of more people have been driven to madness by religion than booze, something like that, And
Yeah.
so his friend is shocked to find him reading the Bible um, as his health is declining in the sanitarium. He said, what are you doing? He goes, looking for loopholes.
Great.
Um, anyways, yeah, so Carlotta Monti, his long-term girlfriend who he kept promising her he was going to marry her and then never did. Probably because he had to support that ex-wife the whole time. It's like, fuck, I'm not getting that situation again.
Yeah.
But she's with him to the very end, and apparently, like the very last thing he ever did was ask for a glass of water, which is ironic.
That's great.
I mean,
Yeah.
there was no booze in the room. The doctors weren't letting him drink at that time, but
Yeah.
funeral held on January 2nd, 1947. He is interred at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California, cremated. His ashes remain in a little niche, and on the epitaph it says, "On the whole, I'd rather be in Philadelphia,"
Mm.
which is where he was born, and widely regarded as one of the greatest comedians. Bridged vaudeville, silent films, and talkies, and physical comedy, and major influences on this whole generation of other comedians like Bill Murray and Rodney Dangerfield and all these cats we've done episodes on.
Yeah.
He's been on Stamps. He's obviously been biographies and documentaries. I'll link a good documentary on him in the Click Pit. I can't remember the name of that book I read. Maybe I'll just find one. I'll guess which one it was and link it. And films are classic to this day.
Yeah. He's definitely like the little statues and stuff that your uncle had.
Yeah.
Is a very iconic figure. And I think more people are familiar with how he looks than like his movies and
Oh,
whatnot.
sure. Yeah.
And
And there were
that
he
Right.
showed up in cartoons all the time, whether it
Oh, yeah.
was whether it was by permission or not. There'd be a character talking like him, telling a
Right.
kid to get away. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the dentist came out in 1932, and that short has him throwing the caddy in the water.
No, that's
Oh,
I thought
okay.
that was yeah. That's not the golf. The golf specialist is just him trying to take a putt. I think
All
the
right.
whole
So,
Yeah,
time.
so it
Yeah,
is. It's two different
yeah.
skits. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Good.
But
That's got.
the
That's what I
dentist,
thought.
I found it on uh, Amazon Prime, and I
Yeah,
just saw that
Yeah.
scene. So
yeah.
Oh
good
yeah.
stuff.
Oh
Good
yeah.
stuff. W.C.
I
Fields.
I can't believe, and not to take anything away from the Rod Steiger film, nobody's done another biopic.
I know
And C.
that's right.
Fields.
That's ripe for happening.
I mean, they do
Yeah,
everybody, right? I mean,
yeah,
how have they
Yeah,
not done him?
yeah. I mean, and celebrating 100 years of Hollywood or something. Some of
Yeah.
these iconic comedic guys would be a great. You recreate some of these funnier moments.
Louis
Tom
C.
Hanks could easily do
No,
it.
no, Louis C.K. Man.
Louis C.K.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Louis C.K. as W.C.
Yeah, he'll get
Fields.
hired for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Excuse me while I invite you back to my hotel room to jack off in front of you.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I heard this bootleg because he still Louis C.K. still does shows. It's just they're
Yeah.
very low profile.
What's hilarious if you think about Pee Wee Herman gets busted in a Jack Shack,
No, he
and
got busted in a movie theater. It
A
was a
regular
porn.
movie
It
theater.
was a
Yeah.
porn theater,
Oh,
or was
was
it?
it? Oh,
I think it
okay.
was
yeah,
a.
so it was a Jack Shack.
Well, that's not a Jack Shack. Jack Shack is a
Oh,
shack.
let's argue about Jack Shacks, but
Sure. Hey,
it was a
I was
dwelling
I was in a
showing
band
porn.
that played a grand opening of a Jack Shack in the parking lot, so I know what a Jack
Okay,
Shack.
This is my favorite part of Snags and Silky. This right
the
here.
nitpicking horse shit that I gotta wade through. Yeah.
He was in a porn theater. Anyways,
Okay. Anyway, so he's in a Jack Shack, ends his career practically,
yeah,
and
porn theater, but yeah.
these people that do this more heinous shit go untouched,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's just amazing.
Yeah. So anyways,
Louis C.K.,
Lu-
like who cares?
Right.
Louis C yeah, so Louis C.K. is there was a YouTube and I think it was just audio of one of his shows after the scandal. And he's doing some bit about retarded people or Down syndrome or something. And some woman in the audience gets all pissed off. My sister has Down syndrome. That's offensive. And he goes, "Lady, you think I care what you think? My life has been destroyed. I
Yeah,
don't give a fuck what you think."
yeah,
It was
that's great.
hilarious.
That's funny as
Like,
fuck.
yeah, like anything's good. Yeah, like anything's gonna affect him now.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
oh my God.
That's great.
Good point.
I
Yeah.
Classic.
liked him in Pets. He does a great voice for the dog.
I loved this show. I used to watch this show religiously until it got abruptly yanked off the air.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Great
yeah,
show.
if everybody got busted, if everybody knew, then nobody'd be working.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
If
Anyways, um, yeah. So there you have it. That's W.C. Fields, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
WC Fields.
Yeah,
Go watch My Little Chickadee and the Bank Dick.
yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. All right. Well, we got more stuff lined up. We got a calendar all the way out through the spring, so maybe we'll make it happen. We'll see.
And hopefully this episode records well and we'll be good.
Yeah. So peace out.
Thanks.
Deuces.
Thanks, guys.